The note-taking report is a fairly self-explanatory report, so let's go through it pretty quickly. First thing, if you can put your email address there, that would be great, and it will then send you a copy of your answers as well as some feedback that's there as well. Then if you could put your first and last name, and for this, if you could type it the same each time that you fill this in every week, that would be great. That way it makes it easier to find things in the future. By the way, if you do type it a little bit differently, we'll still find it. It'll work okay, just a little more complicated. And do please double check your email address. A lot of times people type things incorrectly for that. So next one is, what day and time is your class? You look there and pick the one that applies to you. And what is the due date for your notes? Some people submit them early. Maybe you get them done a day early or something and you just want to get it turned in. That's fine. You're welcome to do that. Or maybe you missed the day, you turn them in late. Whatever the case, what you're going to put here isn't the day you necessarily turn it in. It's going to be the due day for those notes. So if you turn them in early, it'll be a different day, or if you turn them in late, it'll be a different day. If you turn them in on the due date, it'll be the same day, but what is the actual due date for those notes? Then it asks you, how many TED Talks did you listen to and take notes? And you'll just choose however many you listened to and took notes, look at your notes and count them up. How many ATCs, all things considered, did you listen to and take notes? How many news nows did you listen to and take notes? So again, you're just putting numbers there on what you took notes on. And then it says, if you did use any additional note-taking sources, you can just type those here. Please talk to me if you are going to use something different. If you find maybe some lectures in your major, excellent, that's wonderful. We'll definitely make some substitutions. You'll do a little bit less of some other things, and you'll do those lectures instead, because that's very, very valuable. We want this note-taking time to be as valuable as possible. I'd actually encourage you, if you know your major, find some lectures in those majors. So, and then it asks you a question: were you assigned to complete the full note-taking report? Or would you like to, even if you weren't assigned to, would you just like to get some feedback? Normally you will answer yes on this unless I tell you otherwise. I do want you to complete the full report. If I do tell you you just need to complete the quick short report, then you can click no, but normally it's going to be yes, and to explain it I will click yes today. So, all right. And then there's some follow-up, some more questions, some things to consider. These are geared towards helping you to think through how can you take better notes and have this assignment be the most benefit for you. And one of the questions is, how many days did you take notes? Basically, did you spread them evenly over 4 to 7 days? Or did you take all of your notes on 2 or 3 days? Or even most of your notes just on 1 day? And I'll say, the more you spread them out, the better. So my recommendation is, on 1 day, just take 1 TED Talk, 1 ATC, and 1 News Now. Do all 3 of those on 1 day, and you're done for the day. The next day, 1 TED Talk, 1 ATC, 1 News Now. To do a little bit every day is more beneficial than doing them all at once. Your brain just starts to shut down, and you don't get as much practice if you do them all at once. So, did you look at transcripts and subtitles? Again, you're not supposed to look at transcripts and subtitles while taking notes. At the same time, I have had some people that they've done all their notes, it's all good, but then they want to go back and just check words and learn vocabulary or check something out. And so they've talked to me and say, I look at the transcripts or the subtitles then because I want to know what it was, not to fix my notes, but I want to learn from it. And that can be very beneficial as well. So if you did use transcripts or notes at all, click yes on this, and if you click yes, it will actually ask you another question to ask you about how did you use them, because there are some good ways to use that. Most people are probably just going to click no, but whatever is honest, and that's the key thing, to be honest on here, because I can't help you if you're not giving me the true information. And honestly, you're often, if you're saying something that's a lie, you're usually lying to yourself, not just to others, and just sort of like, I just glanced at it, it doesn't count. If you looked at it, you looked at it. Click yes. All right, some questions about formatting. And did you use complete sentences or did you use phrases? And again, when you're taking notes, we don't want to be using a lot of complete sentences. There might be 1 or 2, but for the most part, it should be using phrases and ideas to get the information with as few words as possible. But what are you doing? Look at yours. Is it organized or disorganized? Are your notes just random and all over the place, or are they organized? Perhaps in an outline or some other way. Basically, if you look at your notes, can you find things quickly because they are organized? If you had many pages of notes, would you still be able to just find things quickly because they're well organized notes, or are they just sort of random? And that's something to improve on throughout the semester. They won't be perfect. Even at the end of the semester, they won't be perfect. It's something we continue to grow in. Did you use more just the whole words, or did you use symbols and abbreviations? Again, you don't have to always write complete words. Like right now, as I'm filming this, Trump is president, and so he's going to be in the news a lot. So he'll show up in your notes a lot. Instead of writing Trump each time, save yourself the time. Maybe you just write a T or a T and circle it, something you know that's Trump when you see that. So it's great and encouraged to use symbols and abbreviations instead of writing out whole words even, not just whole sentences. So check one there. How do you feel about taking notes? Is it something, man, it's just tough, I don't like it, the sad face there? Is it, yeah, I sort of enjoy taking notes, it's sort of fun. So, and again, your attitude can really help you to learn or not to learn. If you go in with a negative attitude towards something, you just do it, you're not going to get the benefit. If you go in with, I'm going to do well, see how well I can do, turn it into a game to get the best notes you can, that positive attitude actually helps you to learn and improve more quickly and make the most of the same amount of time. So, ability to use your notes. Are you able, if you look at your notes, are you able to retell the lecture, the note, the news, whatever, not every word, but the main flow of it, the main ideas? Are you able to do that or not? Okay, now I'm purposely not going to check that one. If you forget to answer a question that you were supposed to check, oh, it highlighted it for me, and it lets me know that, oh, I forgot to check that and I need to do that. So the last page is just a page to submit, and it asks you a question. It lets you know your grade may change if I find out that your answers were not accurate. So basically what I'm looking at, if you say you did 5 TED Talks, and I look at your notes and there's 2 TED Talks, that's not right. And so something's wrong there. It's fairly easy usually to tell if somebody just made a counting mistake or if they really are, they're lying and they're just not telling the truth there. The goal of this question is not to make you nervous. Like, oh, did I get it right? Did I make a mistake? Is he going to think I'm lying? You know, mistakes might happen. It happens. But the goal here is to let you know if you do say you did a certain amount of notes and you just didn't do it, you're trying to get away with it, if that is caught, your grade can go down to a 0 on that. So the grade that you get at first in your grade book will be assuming you told the truth. And then I go back and spot check those. Sometimes I'll go through and check all of them in detail. Sometimes I won't. So if it's one I didn't check in detail and later I go back at it and I say, wait, they weren't telling the truth on this, you can lose points or you can get a 0 on that. So make sure you're telling the truth. And again, I'm not out to get you. It's just to make sure people are telling the truth. So with that, you'll hit submit and it's waiting. You'll get this closing screen that just talks to you and says that basically means you got it. And if you do click on view accuracy, I will be going through here and putting in some feedback on, like here you see some feedback, well done. And it gives, if you click something else, it would tell you ways to improve. So there is some feedback built in to help you make the most of your note-taking time. So enjoy taking notes. I hope you can have fun with it. It can be a great skill to develop, and it can be fun as you learn, especially those TED Talks. People tend to enjoy them.